David Axelrod drops a hint for Joe Biden. Drop out. Conservative angle. David Axelrod, the former Barack Obama presidential advisor, strategist, brain, has a long thread on X discussing the problems surrounding Joe Biden winning a second term. It's way past time. If you remember Axelrod as a rather oleaginous operator, you remember correctly. His podcast, Everyone Has One, is called Hacks on Tap. I admire someone who owns their reputation. David Axelrod was in politics for several decades, working for a Chicago Mayor Daley and John Edward presidential run. He chose to work for Barack Obama over Hillary Clinton and has done well since. You must remember that this is all about the acquisition and retention of power. Everybody and their sisters knew that Joe Biden's brain was fried in 2019. Did Axelrod or any of his colleagues say anything? Hale, no. Axelrod is only speaking up now because he sees that power might slip away. The time is ticking away to get names on state ballots, so those who know must speak now or risk the power loss. Someone has to be the first rat off of the ship, and Axelrod chose X as his life raft. Legitimate concern, or bedwetting. We are 1 year out from Election Day for the 2024 presidential election. What else? David Axelrod doesn't care how the American people are suffering. We don't matter. And the Axelrod believes the Democrats have a deep bench. Don't make me laugh. Their bench consists of Kankles, Hillary, Cackles, Kamala, and Crazy Eyes, Whitmer or Hochul. Axelrod takes this opportunity to cast aspersions upon President Donald Trump. Trump is a dangerous, unhinged demagogue whose brazen disdain for the rules, norms, laws and institutions our democracy should be disqualifying. But the stakes of miscalculation here are too dramatic to ignore. Trump is so unhinged and dangerous that he understands the reality of economics and the nature of power. Axelrod, Biden, Clinton and Obama are the ones brazen disdain for the Constitution and our republic. Axelrod says only Joe can make the decision. Who are we kidding? Dr. Jill is the decider. Joe doesn't know if he is on a horse or a foot. Former Governor Ed Rendell is a true Biden believer. From the New York Post. Time equals 400 ms. Greater than. There is nervousness among the donors and some of the elected officials that Joe Biden won't be a strong candidate because of doubts Americans have about his health. And those doubts have been expressed in the polls. Former Democratic National Committee Chairman Ed Rendell acknowledged in a WABC 770 interview with John Katzimatidis. Time equals 400 ms. Greater than still. Rendell was optimistic about Biden's prospects over Trump's. If you ask them, if it's Joe Biden running against Donald Trump, who would you vote for? They are almost unanimous that they vote for Joe Biden, he said on Katz Roundtable. Time equals 400 ms. Greater than. I think Joe Biden will run, can win, and will win, especially if the candidate is Donald Trump. Especially if they add another 100 charges against Donald Trump, right? Bubble girl for Biden. Harris agrees with Ed Rendell with this incoming to David Axelrod. But, what if Democrats were given a truly palatable alternative to Joe Biden? Back in 2015, Obama thought he could win if he ran again. Then, 5 years later, Obama said this. Asked if he missed his old job when he looked at the headlines from the Trump administration, Obama mentioned that there were plenty of people who wanted him to have a third term. Alas, there was that pesky 22nd Amendment in the way, limiting him to 2 terms. But wait. There's a catch. If I could make an arrangement where I had a stand-in, a frontman or frontwoman, and they had an earpiece in, and I was just in my basement in my sweats, looking through the stuff, then deliver the lines, but somebody else was doing all the talking, I'd be fine with that, Obama said, because I found the work fascinating. Even on my worst days, I found puzzling out these big, complicated, difficult issues, especially if you're working with some great people, to be professionally, really satisfying. But I do not miss having to wear a tie every day. That could lead to a Michelle Obama candidacy. I heard the same interview Patty Jo did this morning. Michelle O hates the White House, America and us. But, what if she could do the job the way Biden does? More travel, but still heading to the beach. R. Carroll wrote about this in July and it's looking more likely now. Solves the Biden issue without running a bus over Kamala. They would have to make her California governor or something as a parting gift. But stranger things have happened. 1 year to go, folks. It's gonna get epic. Featured composite. Gage Skidmore, flickr.com/cropped/Creative Commons. Edward Kimmel, flickr.com/cropped/Creative Commons.